Yeah, hi. I had a couple questions for Alex. He talks about how the government wants to kill 80% of us.
Oh, boy.
They caused 9/11. They want to microchip us. If we go out and do anything, they're going to put us in FEMA camps.
That's not what I'm saying.
But anytime someone calls up and asks Alex, well, why do you even want small government? Why don't you push for no government? He's the first one to defend government, and he'll tell us how much we still need government. So the funniest thing is after you hear Alex complain about government for months and months, you ask him, well, how about no government? He's the first one to defend it and tell us how great it is.
Well, sir, I mean...
Kevin, thank you.
Wow. I mean, look, such a thing as pure anarchy doesn't exist in groups of bigger than... I mean, go with your buddies camping for a week.
No. And communism doesn't work in groups smaller than 150 people. And libertarianism has never succeeded anywhere in the world. So there's got to be some middle ground.
I think we should move more towards smaller government, more liberty. But that individuals have to be involved in their communities to have liberty.
Yes.
So I want people to be self-sufficient. I want people to have local control. And I do want to reduce the size of government because corporations come in and use the big government to suck off of us. I'll go ahead and go to your next call.
All righty. Anthony in Anaheim, California. Hey, Anthony.
I wanted to say something to Alex because I can never get into his show. See, Alex, I think your show's great. I really enjoy listening to you. I agree with a lot that you talk about. But one problem that I have is that you use a lot of sensationalism and fear hype to, I don't know, kind of promote your show or yourself. I don't know what it is. But one example is your claim of how the New World Order is going to eliminate 80% of the world population. And you cite Bill Joy's article on why the future doesn't need us.
Well, I cite a bunch of articles. Okay, go ahead.
I've read that article numerous times. Don't see any mention of anything like that. I wish you would back some of your claims up better.
Oh, okay,
stop. Good start. Alex, you're suggesting that there's a plot to eliminate 80% of the world population?
Yeah, let me comment on this. My film, Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, has all the quotes. He takes out of context one thing I mention as evidence of the elite saying that they're having discussions about should they go ahead and just get rid of all of us because they don't need us anymore because of robotics and systems like that. So that's what I was talking about there. Now, State Department memorandum under Richard Nixon with Henry Kissinger says we'll use State Department Memorandum 200, we'll use IMF and World Bank money to make India and Peru and others sterilize half their women or they don't get money. That's on record. Then the 1996 UN Biological Diversity Assessment.
But hang on just a second, Alex. Let's assume that all that's true. They're working against their own best interests. You know what happened after the Black Plague in Europe was the Renaissance.
The Renaissance,
It created a middle class because when you reduce the size of the labor force, you drive up the cost of labor.
They didn't have robotics and robotic fleets, and the whole military is converting over to robotic tanks and aircraft. They don't even need the soldiers.
It's not enough. Let me toss out an alternative conspiracy theory, and that is that the anti-birth control movement around the world is part of the keep us all enslaved by jacking up the population to the point where...
Tom, you're absolutely right, but it's more sophisticated. And I understand with an audience here, we've got to not dumb it down, but simplify it for time. Okay? But, okay, yes, you're right. If you read the British Royal Commission on Population, Commission 1944 to 49, a 5-year study commissioned by the British government, they say that. They say, we want to stop birth control in the third world so that they use up all their resources and don't industrialize to threaten us. And that was one school of thought that was done. Then you have another eugenicist school of thought, which is hyperdynamic, and it's the most powerful.
Maybe they'll cancel each other out.
No, that's basically what's happening, and it's causing needless destruction. But no, you're right. There is actually a conspiracy. We conspire to do this simulcast. Conspiring is just people talking and two people planning something. So look, Dr. Eric Pianka at UT says he wants 90% of us to die, and the issue is he gets standing ovations. This has been on the news when he says he can't wait for 90% of us to die. Yeah. So my whole issue is that there is a dominant idea of eugenics that metastasized into crypto eugenics after World War II, that is the dominant system in scientific thought in our society, that humans are parasites and bad, and we need to get rid of the humans. And then that gives the globalists, the head of the CFR wrote in 1991 for the Club of Rome, Richard N. Haas, he said, we're going to use fake terrorism as one pincer to control the public and fake environmentalism as the other. Am I saying there isn't? Fish die-offs, the trees being cut down, toxic waste dumping, real environmental.
I think you're pushing the edges here, Alex. I think you're pushing the edges. But you know, but like I said, on both sides. Let's move along here. Scott in Portland, you got something to say to us.